Nope. Which is a punctuation video? Mass Effect. The specific line, because I remember it really well, is something like where he poses a hypothetical to his audience, where he's like, Yahtzee, how can you as a games writer complain about a game having too much dialogue? To which I would reply, the same way a hairdresser is entitled to complain when someone fills their car with shampoo. The best dialogue in a visual media is succinct and punchy, and I ran with that. I even have the fucking delivery memorized because I'm a basket case of a human being. $25. Hey, Adam. Thanks for the good luck. I mean, we got a 25 def, so this run's already off to a better start. Now, why I went for the 25 is anyone's guess, but it worked, so no one gets to judge me. Why does that hitbox not work sometimes? That's gross. Makes me sad. That is the only place in the whole game that song plays, Uchiha. Fuck. You know, succulent is a completely different word. The word is succinct. It means to be brief and clearly express, something that I am not. $9,426. You don't need both boxes. In fact, it actually messes up the inventory later if you do that. Fuck. But yeah, my username comes from a zero punctuation video. Because I liked Yahtzee's videos. It would be not an exaggeration to say that his work has at least sort of an influence on my style, even if my, you know, the general sort of content I produce bears literally no resemblance to anything that he has done. Sort of like the fast-talking mannerism. Is a shtick where I looked at that and I was like, oh, I can do that. An arrogant thought, perhaps, but, well, here we are. I still watch Zero Punctuation from time to time, but I'm no longer like an every week watcher, you know? The format itself is a bit repetitive sometimes, so I don't watch it every week, but I watch it sometimes. Sometimes you're in the mood for that sort of thing. But then this is sort of in step with a general decline in my viewing of professional gaming publications in general. Because, you know, those videos are posted on The Escapist. And I am not... This has nothing to do with me being, like, against them or anything of the sort. It's more just that as I've gotten older, I have attained a greater sense of my own taste, so I generally don't really need to, like, view professional reviews or the reviews of another person to get what you know, to get information about something. Generally, I can figure out for myself from looking at it. Or it's shit, because now I'm an adult and have money, sometimes I can just buy it. I really liked his Let's Drown Out series, actually. Some of the jokes in those have not aged well, but then what fucking has from the early 2000s? 2010s. But particularly I like the ones where he Let's Played his own games. Mostly because I like how it marks the progression of him as a writer. Because some of his early adventure games are... the most charitable thing I can say about it is cute. They are cute. But he would later go on to write books like Jam, which I've actually really liked. It's like, so that's how... humble origins, you know? Because it was that time. It was that time where you could put out... kind of, if I'm being blunt, mediocre games to get a mediocre response, and that's how a career becomes a thing. Because, like, no one gets it right on the first try, unless you're Toby Fox, apparently. Dickhead. No, I mean, he did ROM hacks before that, even. No, that wasn't his first try at all. Have you ever read any of his books? Are they worth picking up? Jam is something I can recommend, like, wholeheartedly. I really liked that book. For my money, I've read a couple of his. Jam is definitely the strongest by, like, a country mile. Mogworld is similarly, like, at least entertaining, but not something I would, like, rush to recommend someone read, like, blind, you know? Does that make any sense? That didn't make any sense. And I haven't gone around to reading a lot of his new... I tried to read We'll Save the Galaxy for Food, a sci-fi story, and it just sort of didn't really connect with me very much. I did not connect with the voice. Yeah, funny enough, Charlie Brooker's work is something I have also liked in my time. Oh yeah, the game dev, the game dev diary series, that was really good too. I enjoyed a lot of that stuff, because it also showed that, like, it showed the process very well. It showed the thought process, and it was still explained with his typical, like, wry sense of humor. But it also showed that he's no fool. Like, he can put a fucking game together. I particularly liked his explanation about how when you are designing a game, or at least a small one that he's doing, you should focus on the core gameplay loop rather than extraneous. Like, it sounds obvious when you say it out loud, naturally, but he explained a phenomenon that I've seen from a lot of people, which is that when you ask a student of game design or whatever, like, what their game is, they can rattle off, like, tons of lore and character descriptions and pointless shit like that. But if you ask them how it plays, and they go like, oh, it's like it's action RPG, and it's like, what does that mean? I need a loop from you, pal. I require more. Way, that was awkward. I felt that. I I resonated strongly with this description in his video. Have I watched Matthew Matosis? Yes, I really like Matthew Matosis' videos. I have seen, I think, all of them. He is one of, if not the best, in-depth, like, game analyzer person on the fucking internet. Yeah, like, I don't even agree with everything he says, but it's impossible to, like, to want to really, like, contest the point because he's so well considered. I may not, like, agree with everything he says, but I don't disagree with a lot of it either. It's more like a sort of like, I see that. There's your Stay Hydrated, SoPro. Especially because I've seen, like, all of his Zelda and Mario reviews, and the thing is that I don't really like a good majority of those games. So it's like, I don't agree with everything he says about them, but I feel like when I watch those videos, I could understand why someone might. It's the closest anyone's ever gotten to convincing me of it. Also, the pair of videos he made called Mega Micro Videos, especially the second one, are... I wish I could write something that good. I wish I could write something that good. I really do. Stupidly fucking clever. It's got like a theme, man. I write much? Not in a content sort of capacity. I write stuff for the odd, like, video thing sometimes, but I do streaming more often, so I rarely get the time to actually produce a lot of them. But I used to make that kind of thing. It very rarely went anywhere, but that was... Before I did streaming, I did that type of content. I never found much success with it, but I do still like to do it from time to time. It is, like, I like to indulge my wordier side. I got, like, halfway through a comparison thing that I was writing about RE2 Make and the original RE2, which I promise you would not have been me just bashing RE2 Make senselessly the whole time, even though I don't really like that game very much. And I shit-canned it because I didn't like how it was turning out. I spent a lot of time on that and it fucking cancelled it. The projects that don't make it out of the bin. Funnily enough, the things I spend a long time laboring on are often the ones that don't make it. Whereas the shower thoughts... Motherfucker. The shower thoughts are the ones that tend to make it to final more often, because they're quick and dirty and easy. Like that one. But a couple of the, like, I made, like, a couple of YouTube videos recently under the series of Fast Talk, which is ironic because I do not talk particularly fast in them. Where I talked about, like, some speedrun stuff. One where I basically shit-talked GSA for half an hour, and the other where I discussed the process of getting runs into a GDQ, and that one was a lot more positive. It was a bit, like, dry. But it wasn't, like, a call-out video for once. That took me some time to write. Like, that was a written thing. I didn't off-the-cuff that. That was scripted. I rarely exactly follow my script, mind you, because I'm an idiot. Like, I have, like, always a bunch of fucking scripts for shit like that kicking around at any given moment, and no more than maybe, like... 30% of them actually make it to a proper finished product. That was a good clip, actually, yeah. That is a sexy gold. Yeah, well the problem is just that I barely even get time to polish them into a... Like, in order to record a video, even just like 20 minutes of talking, because I'm such a picky asshole, it takes like several hours to record all the fucking audio and then edit it. And like, my editing process as well is especially lazy, because I don't really do much visual. Specifically so I can fucking finish something in an acceptable amount of time, because I do not have the time to like actually edit stuff properly. Good editing takes forever. I should know. I used to try. Whereas now I realize, you know what, I can talk into a microphone and put a static screen with a skull on it. It used to look like I was ripping off Sean Vids, but then Sean Vids changed his look, so now it doesn't anymore. Ha ha! It's okay, I wasn't ripping anyone off. We're both just lazy. But even so, just like taking the time to record all the audio and shit, that takes like a few hours, and then I have to edit it and like actually cut it together and stuff. And it's like, it's not a difficult process necessarily, but it does take time, and that's time I rarely want to spend when I could be doing stream. I tend to need a topic I'm like very passionate about, which is why I put out that one about speedrun tournaments, because that's a thing that has been near to me for a while, even though, like, the argument's largely fallen on deaf ears. I've also begun to stop caring about that argument in particular, because I have now moved my position to it's probably a bubble. I think my opinion has actually skewed more negative over time. I used to be like, oh, this is gonna happen eventually, and we should like have the conversation about what we want speedrun tournaments and esports to look like what we as a community should take ownership of this. And that opinion has mostly shifted to, I don't have to care about this anymore because I think it's going to implode. And everyone who gets caught in the vortex will get fucked, and I will laugh at them. So I have mostly stopped caring about it. I'm thinking of the numerous instances in the past, like, year or so of esports scenes being forced that have mostly just, like, collapsed in on themselves. That didn't work because I didn't do it correctly. Shocking, that. Also, hi, Dices. Did I say hi? Hi. Yeah, no, the fridge is empty, obviously. Yeah, there was that thing about how it would distance. But the thing about that is that is true, to be perfectly honest with you. That is 100% true. That is a true thing that would totally happen if it were more of a thing to do the speedrun tournaments. And not only is it true, it fucking happened multiple times. But you could also argue it's a good thing because, you know, it's like, people will try and innovate new strategies in secret because that's one of the only ways you can actually gain a concrete advantage in a tournament setting. You could make that argument. You could. I wouldn't agree with it, but you couldn't. You could make that argument. But the thing about this argument that I generally have begun to not care about is the realization that speedrun esports as a concept really only apply once, as per usual, to like the top 1% of the hobby. So like fucking, you know, the Mario Odyssey, the Mario 64, do they do like Zeldas? I know they do Celeste, but... So it's like all games I don't give a shit about, basically. So it's like, oh wait, hang on, I just realized I don't really have a reason to care. I mean, the thing is that I used to care about Celeste. It's the year of Zelda. It's been the year of Zelda every year since I started. Oh, what a sick dodge. Oh, what an unsick dodge. Oh, what a sick dodge. But yeah, it only seems to happen to games that have a certain pressing need to prove themselves. And I don't really tend to slot into that demographic, so I don't really have an active stake in caring about how a league for a given. I still think the fucking like double bracket for. I also put out a large article a while ago about how like double elimination is a shit format for speedrun tournaments. I still think that. That has nothing to do with how good they are, but just the format's bad. That's why these tournaments take fucking months. Yeah, the year... It was... I think it was specifically in... I remembered now what prompted me. I saw Year of Zelda because there... I don't remember what fucking game there was a new skip in. I saw a reply to it on my ding-dang feed. But I remember seeing a while ago, this year even... Nah, that's not going to get the quick kill. Oh, it did. Never mind. Ignore me. I remember seeing a while ago when someone broke the 120-star record. Again, I don't remember the specifics. And I saw a reply that was, oh, year of 120-star. And I was like, it's every year has been the year of 120-star. Every year. All of them. There hasn't... It's always been 120-star. There hasn't been a year of my life where I haven't had to hear about 120-star. It's never stopped. This is just the background radiation of my life. But every time there's a movement, it's like, oh, it's the year of this. And it's like, it's always been this. It's always been like this. At least Mario Brothers 1 doesn't, like, fucking have a major development. I mean, it has... I think it actually has had a major development every year for the past X number of years. But at least, Is it the year of Silent Hill 3? It could be the year of Silent Hill 3. It could be. Behold stamina abuse. The year of Gun Survivor. Yeah, I don't know about the, like, I mean, pretty much all games have a certain, like, chaos element to them. But the thing is that I've never really been into racing in general. As like again, this is something where like my decision to even get involved in the discourse surrounding speedrun tournaments was questionable from the get-go because I don't really like racing, and I never have. Like for those of you who perhaps have not been around for like 7 years and therefore do not know of the beforelands, most speedrunning activity up to a certain point used to take place on a humble website called Speedruns Live. And the only thing that people did there was they raced. It was a horrible time. Where people actually talked to each other and, like, interacted, because racing was a mostly, like, sociable thing. I hated it. I'm not even joking, I hated it. I never liked this. No, why the quick turn gotta fail? Heather, you dumb fuck. But the thing there was that we didn't really have centralized leaderboards back then. We had, like, community Google Docs at best. So in order to get but the Speedruns Live had a front page, right, where you could see all the runners doing the speedruns at that time. And if you wanted to get your stream fucking noticed, you had to be on that shit. Nice auto aim, dude. What a fucking joke. Yeah, you had to be on that if you wanted to be noticed. You had to be. Like, there was a time where, in order to, like, you didn't get traction if you weren't on the fucking Speedrun Live homepage. Just didn't happen. 8341. Just didn't fucking happen. And the only way you got on the front page of Speedruns Live is if you made an account and you did X number of races in Y time. Then you would be whitelisted. And then you had to still do X number of races over X period of time in order to maintain your front page status, which means I did races of shit I did not fucking care about in the slightest in order to maintain my front page status so that I would show up when I actually wanted to do runs of things that I actually wanted people to see. Which meant I raced fucking garbage. I raced Binding of Isaac. Like, could you imagine me doing some shit like that now? I raced Binding of Isaac. I raced a fucking Pokemon randomizer at one point. I shit ye not. Purely because it was there and I fucking needed to hit my goddamn quota. It was excruciating. But mostly I blind race stuff, and that was always a gamble, because, like, I found out from that I don't like blind racing, which is why I don't, like, partake of Kuso Grande or Mystery Tournament or anything like that. I kind of like PS1 Mystery Tournament, though, if only because, like, the format of that is that you play the multiplayer mode of a given game, which is always just a fucking crapshoot of, like, what fucking multiplayer mode did we even come up with? You could roll a game like Cooler World and get the fucking Simon Says minigame, which is like, okay. But still, I did garbage in order to get my stream on the front page, just so that, like, people would see when I'm doing, like, Silent Hill 1 runs, or fucking Rugrats Search for Reptar that I did back then. It was emphatically not something I enjoyed. But you had to do it if you wanted your stream to be noticed. It took a long time of people complaining about this in order for Speedruns Live to finally fucking cut the bullshit and just allow you to have your stream on there regardless of how much you race. But by that point, it was too late. Like, Speedruns Live hasn't been the central hub of speedrun activity for quite a few years now. And there are some things we lost in that transition, like the fact that you actually fucking had to talk to people to get into a game. You couldn't just show up. We also gained a higher emphasis on world records because we didn't have centralized leaderboards back then, so the only way you found out what the world record was by asking people, and a lot of people just didn't care. Whether or not these are good or bad things will depend on how you feel about those individual things. I for one don't miss it. I for one don't miss it. I held the wrong direction. You couldn't imagine that. Imagine it. Imagine a world where most people don't know what the world record of a given game is. Imagine a world where you literally just couldn't look it up. You had to ask the respective IRC channel, and maybe someone would give you the correct answer, if they knew it. I've gone the wrong way. I've killed the run for no reason because I am stupid. Oh no, I haven't gone the wrong. Well, I went... I forgot what I was doing. Mulligan. I went to the right floor and then went in the wrong direction and thought I was on the floor that... I fucked up. I fucked up. All I know is that under an environment where race presence was still, like, the dominating factor in how visible you are, I never would have gotten any traction, because I don't like racing. How's the speed going? It was going okay until I fucked up tremendously. Yeah, I rather beefed it. Super beef! Whoa! Wiggity, wiggity, wiggity. This run might actually... Maybe it'll still be ahead. That would be fucking comical if it was still ahead. Oh my god, it actually is still gonna be ahead. That's dumb. I made such a fucking mistake and I'm still 3 seconds ahead. Yo, I suck ass, dude. How much time save do I have on that split? From what? Jesus, fuck. What the fuck did I do on my PB there? What did I do? Leonard. Leonard was shit. The fact that this has a chance of PBing makes me want to fucking... Well, if I got Leonard Swim, I would have quit. If Leonard swims, I just quit. No, you lose like 20 seconds from a Leonard Swim. If you get a Leonard Swim, just quit. Fucking absolute waste of your time to play out a run with that. That's me when I get up in the morning. I've made that joke before, dude. Bad streamer. It's the foggiest shit. Literally can't see. Turn in my witty card. I don't have one. I was never witty. Good. Well, relatively speaking, at least. She actually has the submachine gun in her inventory in the dream. You just have to equip it. She starts with the knife equipped, but she actually has the submachine gun in her inventory. And most concerningly of all, she knows she's going to be collecting a submachine gun for some reason. Now, the shotgun, you see, she doesn't know that. That was a birthday present.
Welcome to the Borley Haunted Mansion.
Turns out you can use Alt Space to pause the window. That's much more efficient.
Please come inside and look around. When you feel you're ready, then go through the door.
Problem is I don't know how to... How do I get this back? Ah, that'll do.
Help! Do you hear those voices? A family of 4 was...
You can hear me, like, pressing the shit out of my spacebar. I have the loudest spacebar in the universe.
The cries of the children. The murderer was caught. Do you know why he said he killed his family? Because I felt I had to. Anyway,
Alt-tabbing does reduce IGT for this, yes. Because it's based on the length of the audio file, rather than any actual gameplay thing.
I wanted to scare
There is, in fact, more than one place this can be used now.
The truth is, only one person died.
Because life is a sad joke. Doesn't the new skip this? Only on New Game Plus. Can't be used on the New Game category. Like, it's not banned or anything, it just doesn't work. I did it too early. He must talk about Danny before you can begin. It's gotta be, it's New Game Plus or UFO, and UFO doesn't even get this far. It only works on normal mode, and this is done on easy, so it doesn't fucking work, man. So you think, oh, would normal mode be faster for speedruns then? And the answer is, no. Leonard takes too long, among others. Boss fights bottleneck the shit out of the normal mode run, like, really hard. That was a bad time to undo that.
I'm so sorry. This place is just falling apart. The mechanism is broken, you see.
It's the most common follow-up. I've tried to test it. I've tried to make normal mode faster so that the skips can be used. It's never worked.
I hope you enjoyed your tour.
The boss fights just take too long on normal.
Or if you'd prefer, we could
It's a pain in the ass.
you instead. That was supposed to be the
It does work on Ultra XD Raw Hard mode, yes. Anything above normal, anything normal and above works fine. Hey, Jobsha. How goes it? What is it? Who is it? Who is speaking here? But yes, it's good. Wow, I can't believe it's time save. Why doesn't it work on easy? Because in order for you to activate the glitch, you need to have Heather stumble off a ledge that she could potentially fall off and die. Easy mode doesn't let you do that. How's this run not dead? I went the wrong way. I don't know. Apparently I had a really shitty Hospital 2 split, so I actually only bled 3 seconds. Fucking beats me, dude. I really thought I bled my whole lead, but I actually only lost 3 seconds. My PB had a horrendously shit Leonard fight, I think is the balancing factor there. I always forget that load takes slightly longer than the others. Why? Because... Stop asking questions. Way! Time to lose the run to horses. Not even a joke. The horse is moving. Got it. Right, actually, you've turned to the save menu. Just pausing doesn't work. Oh, very good. Well, that was quite epic. Typical, right? You work so hard to raise them, and they repay you by iframing through your attack for absolutely no reason. Twice. Are you fucking serious? I blame Kojima. I'm still gonna save a shit ton of time, but that was trash. It's because I hit the fucking horses, dude. That was so lame. I got it twice. That's a bug in the fight. Just sometimes when, literally, like, you saw, I shot her, blood came out, she made the hurt noise, and she still continued with her attack animation. That is because it doesn't work correctly. I don't have an explanation for you. That just doesn't work right. Sometimes when you shoot a lesser, she will just not recognize that you did so. Because reality is cruel, and these games are made with Pritstick. Oh yeah, no, the new fucking horse cycle saves a shit ton. If you can hit it, at least. It's not even RNG, it's not like a random element, like, intentionally coded in. It's just, like, that just doesn't work correctly. It's not random, it's incompetent.
I disagree.
Love 2 video games.
No. But thank you for the 16-month CFP. Like, this isn't like Silent Hill 1, where random shots actually have a coded miss chance. It's just, fuck you. Sometimes that boss just doesn't register hits correctly. Yes, in theory, but, like, I feel the need to distinguish between things that are random on purpose and things that are random by mistake. Because RNG, is, like, has a very specific programming connotation where you actually intentionally make a random number to generate... You generate a random number. It's RNG, it's random number generator. To produce a random result. That isn't supposed to be random, that just doesn't work right sometimes. And it happened twice in the same fight. Ugh. That is upsetting. Those spawns were, like, not even halfway bad. The second spawn was pretty epic, but the third and fourth were, like, fine. Nah. Yeah, there's some of the fights in this game have some interesting interactions, but I hit the horse strat first try, so whatever. Yeah, bullshit, I guess. I don't know what to call it. Like, it's not random, but it might as well be. I mean, every game is, like, built with fucking glue and twine when you get right down to it. Doesn't mean I won't find it annoying. Like, I am understanding of this, but I'm also annoyed by it at the same time. It is a cruel universe that, unfortunately, games, as a general rule, like, barely work. And if you play them for long enough, as I have, you will find shit like that, where some things just have a failure rate. And it won't bother you in normal gameplay. It won't bother you in normal gameplay, because, like, it won't happen often enough to you for you to care, or possibly to even pick up on it. When you don't know, like, how a game works on a very, like, deep level, it can be... You'd be surprised what you can gloss over. In terms of mechanics. Like, fucking... Do you know how many people I've talked to that don't realize RE4 has dynamic difficulty? And that's, like, not a disputed thing. Like, it's in there, and it's an intentionally coded function, and it works as intended. But RE4 has dynamic difficulty, and it influences, like, everything that happens in that game. And do you know how many people I've spoken to that don't realize that game is doing that? Because you don't notice. It's a pain in the fucking ass for speedruns, and I hate it tremendously, because I actually did notice it when I was playing normally. This has actually been a pretty clean chapel otherwise. But like you're so when you don't know a game super well, it's so easy to like to get immersed, to sink into the moment that you don't look at the little things like that. So it's okay. It's okay for a game to kind of kludge it, because so few people are gonna fucking dig into your game for long enough to find shit like that. But I've played this one long enough, and sometimes on that fight in particular, if you shoot that bitch, sometimes it just doesn't work. God also actually has the same problem. Funny enough, the final boss of this game actually has the same fucking issue. Sometimes I will shoot her and it just doesn't fucking register. It's super rare. But now that I've said that, it will happen. And it isn't supposed to be random. It's not like simulating a mischance. Sometimes you shoot her and it just doesn't register properly. But it's fine, you know? Some speedrunners that probably have been QA testers. Yeah! Hi! Please look forward to it. Bish bash boosh. Suck my dick. That was a really clean chapel, actually. Despite that absolute shitpost of an lesser fight, and I went the wrong way in Brookhaven 2, and still came out with a 33-45, because the rest of it was good. Someone wanted squats. Let me get the time up first. That's a sizable PB for sure. I don't think I PB by such a huge amount tonight, but, you know, well. Oh, no! The rest of these are actually pretty good, but oh, no, what the fuck? What is this? That's shan by my standards. Oh, no. Like, I'm not gonna break the fucking bank over a 44, but like, yikes, 50. That's oh no, that's not PogChamp, that is cringe. Positively cringe. Absolutely not. But otherwise, the run is good. Well, I say that, I went the wrong fucking way in Brookhaven 2. Is the run good? How was that good? Why was that good? I don't think so.